Okay.
Okay. My speech kind of follows along the same lines of Chenyu's speech, kind of, where I am, who I've become over the past couple of years, and what has helped me change into become who I am. I just want to say that yesterday I was kind of practicing through the speech, doing whatever, and I'd forgotten everything Ms. Brown taught me because I was just swaying back and forth because I was like, I don't want to do this. This is like, for some reason, my heart is beating like through my chest, even though it's like I've given speeches multiple times before, but I think it's just because of what the speech means and the attitude I have towards the speech, which is, who I've become, is just really deep within me, and I kind of want to go over specific topics on how I've become who I am, and those topics would be the places I've been and the people I've met throughout my recent life, because I feel like what happened very early in my life still affected me, but to what I am now, it's really just the past 5-6 years that's helped me push myself into becoming who I am. And so I'll start with places I've been, and I want to start with the beginning of high school, and the places would be Clark High School. I've been here all 4 years, and what this high school meant for me was I can't see any of my friends from middle school. Even though I went to Hyde Park, and I knew Shane, I have stories about him. That's the people I've met. But I only had a couple close friends. I was kind of weird, and I didn't really talk to anyone else. And they all went to A-Tech or one of the career technical academy schools. And so I basically came here with having like acquaintances like Shane and other people, and I was basically friendless. And so that's what the school meant for me freshman year, and that's what I let it mean to me all of my freshman year. And it was really difficult to get through that year. I made friends, but I never felt like I could really spend time with people because I was just, I wouldn't say antisocial, but I just didn't really want to care about anyone else besides the people I had already bonded with. But then, moving on, going through and seeing what this school really did to me, I think a lot of people bash like education in America and how it kind of restricts people, but I feel like learning here and seeing what I was able to do and seeing what my classmates were able to do helped me see that I'm not that different from my classmates. If I can learn things and I can grow my mind and I see people around me do the same, then we must have something in common. We must have curiosity at least in common. And so ever since my sophomore year, everything really changed. I started talking to more people. I got really close to a lot of people. I made much more friends, and that was kind of the highlight of my year. Even though I had chemistry, I didn't like chemistry. But that year, and ever since then, this school has helped me become a better person in social standings. And I'd just like to say for you guys who are freshmen, I don't know, I was really thinking about my freshman year about not coming to this school, leaving and going to a different school once my friends were at. And what kept me here was the kind of the society we have here, how we have clubs and we have sports and we have all this stuff that really defines us but doesn't separate us. And things like football or basketball and stuff like that, it brings our school together and it makes us kind of, a real high school, but it doesn't, cut us out. It's not like, oh, you're in football and that's it, I can't talk to you because you're not. It's more like, this is one of my activities, but I'm still, open to being friends. And how we have all types of people at this school, helped me see that diversity is important, and not only like race is the first thing you think of when you hear diversity, but levels of education, personalities, and openness to interact with others. And there's all types of people in those ranges, and seeing that helped me just think that, this school is right for me, and luckily I stayed here for all 4 of my years. Moving on to another place that I've been to, and another thing that's helped shape me, or its places, this would be plural, and this is the tournaments I've been to at forensics. I started last year, even though I'm a senior. I wish I'd started earlier. But the tournaments I've been to really pushed me to it's like endurance. It's like mental endurance. I've never had such a push from my mind before this class. I have a couple things here I just wanted to share with everyone. So this is the first piece of paper Miss Brown gave to me like 2 years ago. It's all the events we have. I have notes on here that Griffin gave me. He was like, yeah, you don't want to do Congress. He was like, Lincoln Douglas is 1v1, and Public Forum is 2v2, and Lincoln Douglas is about good and bad, and Public Forum is about right and wrong. And he was like, and then he was like, you don't want to do IEs, and I was like, okay. And this was 2 years ago, and then I have this. This is the first schedule for last year, 2012, 2013. I circled all the ones I was planning on going to, like straight from the beginning of the year, and I kept this on my fridge all year long, and I have this year's, but it's still on the fridge. I'm not competing anymore. But I just was always excited for going to these days because they would really push me to an extent that I had never been pushed to before. And then obviously, to bring even more sadness, I have all of my ballots because I'm really lame. And I have my first ballot here, and I remember this first day distinctly because obviously you remember your first time well. It was 3-1, 3 wins, 1 loss. The only reason I lost was because I was so tired. Like, never had I ever been pushed to think for so long. Like, it was like 8. I had to wake up at like 6, and then I had to debate for like 8 hours, and it was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. And I think as freshmen, maybe you guys might have noticed that. You were like, this is a 14-hour day, and like there's tons of time in between where we're resting, but there's still, you're constantly thinking about, how's my next round gonna go? How did my last round go? You're just worried all the time. And I'm really proud of this, my first tournament, because I did pretty well for my first time ever. I think it was because I was a junior and everyone else was freshman, so I kind of just raffle stomped. But, yeah. So all these ballots, I'm probably gonna keep them like until they get lost because they mean a lot to me, and it shows me how hard I worked. I always worked hard for all of these, even if I didn't do that great. Actually, I did do great. Just kidding. I'm really good. My worst was 2 and 2. So yeah. I always break even or do better. I only broke last year twice, and it was to octo finals, so that barely counts. But it still does. Top 16 of usually 100 kids in JV. Lincoln Douglas is still pretty good. But these tournaments, it's not just like a social event. It's a mental and like club event. And going to all those places first showed me around the city. And that's good to know, where there are schools and stuff. But it also, these places showed me what I can do for myself and how much fun I can have with friends. Like, these have always been so awesome. Speaking of this year, it's just been great meeting and spending like whole days with some of you guys. I've gotten to grow to like most of you. Wow. Well, no. It's because I haven't. No. It's not rude. I like all you guys. It's just I never did IE because Griffin told me not to. So I wish I did. I wish I listened to Shane instead. And so speaking of Shane and people I've met, I'll be moving on to who I've met and what they've meant to me and how that's shaped who I am and how I've become who I am. And I'm going to start, quickly mentioning Shane. I met him in 8th grade, and the one thing I remember about him in 8th grade was that he recited pi to the 100th number. He was
Oh
like,
my God.
he was like,
What
I don't know, our math teacher, Mr. Lawrence, I swear to, okay, Mr. Lawrence, he was like, pi, I don't even remember how it happened. He just got up and he started going 3.1415, blah, 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 for like 20 minutes. And he was like, you got to the 100th number or something like that. And I don't know why it happened, but all I know is that that's the only thing I remember about you from 8th grade, and that your memory surpassed anything I could believe in. And so, like, obviously, because now you do OO, and so memory is part of your forte. But to actually talk about people who have really impacted my life, I'm going to talk about one of my best friends, Scott Ironman. You probably don't know, except for the seniors and people higher grade. I'm going to talk about Alex because I've known you for so long, and like kind of getting to re-know you because we didn't spend too much time freshman year and stuff like that. So, and I'm going to talk about Miss Brown because you're not just a teacher to me, you're a person. And you've really impacted my life. Yeah, some people, no, honestly, some people just see their teachers as, you know, they're here to tell me some information that I didn't know before, and that's all they are. Whereas, you know, Miss Brown's been much more, don't you getting me ahead of my own speech. Okay. So I'm going to start with Scott. Scott's basically my best friend, and basically, and we're luckily going to the same college, but he's probably only sticking around for a year. I don't know why he chooses this school, because honestly, the way he's impacted me is because he's incredibly intelligent, and he's pushed me to think about things that I would never have thought about. And me and him, he is as political as me, and me and him have always had our arguments on, you know, whether something that's going on in current events and politics, it was the right thing for someone to do or the wrong thing, or, you know, how would we believe that the government should handle things better. And it's partly because of him that I'm so political now, and he's not my anti that you would think that, oh, he's my anti and he pushes me to become the left that I am, he's the right. He's much more moderate. Oh wow, I'm pushing time. I'll try and speed this up. He really is just a phenomenal person. He's helped me through so much, personally and intellectually, and I value that a great deal. And so I'm really glad to have met someone like him. I just like to say that, you know, just because he's the friend I'm mentioning, it doesn't mean he's the only person that impacted me intellectually. I just kind of, he resonates in my mind, and so I've had everyone I've met, all of you that I've met and interacted with, really helped me, you know, develop my mind and develop my personality. And so I don't want to make it seem like you never impacted me, even though I didn't talk with you for, you know, hours on end. But you know, these are just a select few that I had to choose. And the reason why I also chose Alex is because I met Alex, it's the stupidest thing. We met when we were 12 years old. Isn't that so weird? And now I'm an adult. I'm an adult, and I could go and like buy cigarettes, and I used to be 12 years old. and thinking about that is just really weird to me. I remember me and Alex had early bird together in middle school, and we had robotics because we were super lame. And 7th grade, I was also going back to the whole super antisocial, or not antisocial, but just difficult to make friends and being really awkward. Alex was one of my friends in 7th grade in that class, and she helped me, basically helped me interact with more people, because she was part of the cool group, as you know. Well, cool quotes, you know, Michael Mooney. He counts as cool, right? Corey Corral, and so, like, you know, there's the popular group in a class, and so for me to have like a friend or at least someone to talk to was just really cool to me, and ever since then, we didn't really talk much 8th grade, I don't think, and 9th, 10th, but like ever since this class, we got to be friends again, and that was really awesome because you're just a really great person, and don't make sad faces, I'll be sad, and it just I can tell when a friendship is really going to resonate within me, and that's really going to be something that sticks with me for a long time. It's partly because we're both foreign. it's partly because you can really brighten someone's mood, and you can really show that you care about someone more than just their like outside features. You really care about people and what's going on within them, and so I'm gonna move on to the part that's really sad for me at least. Not right now. Not right now. Okay. For like forever, I never thought those worked.
That is the first time. I'm not exaggerating. That's the first time it's rang all year long.
Really?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, Vardan. I'm so sorry. Keep going.
So, I showed you guys, the stuff that Miss Brown gave to me, and alright, so I'm going to say something Miss Brown doesn't know, but some of my friends know. When I first walked into this room, right, she was talking to one of her students about some crazy book that's probably thicker than my chest. I don't know. And when I walked in, and I was like, she completely understands this book. And I'm like, I was never really an avid reader. I mean, I'm reading a little bit more now, and I'm trying to, reading is good. Read, kids. But when I came here, it was the first time I had ever been intimidated by someone by their intellect. And so when I came here, I was like, dude, this teacher is incredibly smart. Like, I could just tell that you were you had an intellect that was beyond anything I'd ever experienced before. And that's not just like, kissing ass, that's like, kissing ass. Being honest, like, that was a really weird feeling. I've been intimidated by like really big dudes, but never by a really small blonde. It's that blonde that. Yeah, and like, turns out incredibly intelligent and like someone I like a role model really for and so, yeah, that's something that you can know. One of your students was really intimidated by you because you're so smart. But Miss Brown has meant a lot to me because she helped me with my debates last year, and she really helped me with being able to construct arguments and being able to think logically. And I mean, within an argument, I could think beforehand. And she was really able to impact me in my speaking skills because, like I said, when I first came here, this was me the whole time. Every time I would give a speech, I would sway so bad, and I don't know why I couldn't sit still, but I just couldn't like stand up straight and talk. I had to move. I think that was just excess energy, but so my speaking skills developed because of Miss Brown, and my ability to articulate my thoughts better came from Miss Brown. I never had her for AP Lang, but I feel like I still learned as much as her students did from her English class about English. And then, like I said, as a person, Miss Brown has just been awesome. I don't know if any of you guys know, but I want to be a teacher when I grow up, and so I've been able to talk to Miss Brown a lot about, what I have to go through to become a teacher and like stuff like that. And as a role model for being a teacher, Miss Brown is definitely someone who I hope to be. Definitely not anyone like Mr. V. Yeah, the seniors get that. Thank you for the round of applause. Yeah, I hopefully want to care about my class as much as Miss Brown does, and I hopefully will be able to inspire people and help just share a part of me with my students as Miss Brown did. And Miss Brown was really there for me when I needed her, and she was there for me when I didn't, and I always appreciated her no matter when, because her presence is really just a delight. And it's so awesome to be in this class. And I'm not going to look at that wall because all the normal stuff on that wall is not there, and it's really upsetting. But to conclude my speech, to bring it all back, all these people that I've mentioned in this school and these tournaments and this class have really, what I've noticed the most is that they've pushed me to become such a better public speaker and to be able to communicate my thoughts to another person, which is just an incredible skill that I would have otherwise never had. And so I give a really thoughtful thank you to everyone that I mentioned, and I give a really it's gonna be a really sad goodbye next week, but dang it, I know it was so sentimental. Alright, well, I don't know what else to say besides thank you. And this isn't over though, me developing. There's always going to be more people, and there's always going to be more places to go, just as there will be for you. And so I hope this school is a great start for you guys, and the teachers you meet, and the people. People say adults are so important in your life, but I listed friends, and friends are the ones who really help me push myself to become who I am. So don't take your friends for granted. Don't take your teachers for granted. Don't take the places you go for granted, because all of this will change, but it doesn't mean nothing new won't come. And so I hope that all of you always push yourselves to become a better person in what you are, but also, like I pushed myself to a new genre of public speaking, I hope that you guys push yourselves to a new genre that may not be public speaking, but anything else, and to take up new skills. And